So in my demo, we will try to show how to pick up a running container in Oracle Cloud, a running Openshift container, container cluster, sorry. And there we will try to implement autoscaling using cluster autoscaler with CAPI. CAPI is used normally to manage clusters in a Kubernetes way, and it has infrastructure providers that what they will do is just manage the infrastructure, create the machines, take down the machines, and all these things. And so we are gonna use this in a running cluster. We are gonna import all this configuration into a running cluster and then set this cluster in a way that it knows that it has to manage itself. And when new nodes are needed, it will create them, and when new nodes are not needed, it will just destroy them. I prepare a small demo here. Let me share. I mean, all this demo is in, if anyone wants to play with it or whatever, I have it in Git. Here it is where it is. So if anyone just wants to follow it, there is the README, that it has all the information, and you can just try it and play with it. So the first thing that we need is a running cluster. So we have here a fresh cluster that is recently installed and all provision with 3 workers and 3 control planes. And well, we can see here that
as external platform on OCI, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can see here that is OCI, and well, the first thing that we need to do is to enable tech preview. So it enables CAPI because CAPI so far doesn't come with a standard OpenShift. We will wait until CAPI starts. And then the next thing that we need to do here is to disable cluster version operator, because we need to tweak some operators and stuff, and we don't want it to revert it. So we just put it at 0 pods, and now we can tweak the cluster as will. Basically, we need to modify the cluster, the CAPI operator, to use our custom image. Indeed, this only needs, it's because we need to implement the different OCI resources. I mean, it's small changes. Also, we need to modify the cluster autoscaler, so it's able to, well, we use a custom version, so it uses this CAPI group environment variable, because it's different than the one that OpenShift uses. And we also need to use a custom version of cluster autoscaler that is the head of the current main branch in Git of the official project. Once that we have those changes done, and this is the things that we do, and then the thing would be to create some roles. So there are like a couple of things that the operators need to access, and now we will be deploying the infrastructure provider for Oracle Cloud. It needs a Server Manager as a prerequisite, so we install Server Manager. And then this is the provider for Oracle Cloud for CAPI, that we have a fork that adds a few things. So we will use it to put some, by default it doesn't have any configuration here or credentials, so we use this script to import the credentials from the command line interface for OCI, and then we just deploy it. And by now we will have all the pieces present there. And now we need to populate a few things. The first thing is that we need to create a bootstrap ignition file that will be used when a new machine starts up. It will be feed this ignition, so it will install OpenShift and join the cluster. This is automatically created by CAPI, but in our case, I mean, we need to copy this kubeconfig to a different namespace. That is where we have our cluster running in OpenShift Machine API, and also we are adding some workaround into this ignition as a systemd unit file, because we had problems setting the host name. But well, this is probably temporary. We will see how to solve it. Also, we need to create a kubeconfig that CAPI will use to connect to the cluster. in the end, it's just creating a service account, creating, giving it some permissions to be cluster admin, and then crafting a kubeconfig with this and putting it in a secret. And after that, we create the proper CAPI manifest. We fetch a lot of information from Oracle Cloud, like the VCN ID, AP server ID, and all these things. There is this script to do it, but in the end, now it's populating some templates of some resources in Openshift that we will see now. It created all these manifests, this script, and basically we need an OCI cluster resource that is the cluster in the infrastructure of Oracle. There is this annotation here to skip API server that is quite important because what we want to do is to import, to say that the cluster is already running, so it doesn't need to create all the infrastructure. And this is what this annotation is for. This is something that we needed to add. And there is also some other important thing here, that is the skip network management. That is for not creating all the VCN and all the other resources in Oracle Cloud, because all this is already existing. Then this is the CAPI cluster that basically has the cluster name, and it references the OCI cluster that we just showed before. We have the OCI machine template, that this is the template that will be used when a new machine is created. I forgot to add here in the demo, but this image ID is a Oracle Cloud image that we need to create. In the end, it's just a vanilla Arcos image, but the OpenStack version, because the OpenStack version will pull the user data from the metadata server, and then it will apply the ignition from there. We specify here the number of CPUs and memory. That this is important then to add here to the machine deployment. This is the resource that will be scaled up and down. It's like a deployment but for machines. And here is important to say in the annotations how big, what will this the new machines provide? Because since we are scaling from 0, it doesn't have any other way of knowing how much resources it will add to the cluster. So the Autoscaler knows how many machines it needs and all these things. And well, here also it points to the OCI machine template that we showed before. And then we just set up an Autoscaler in a very standard way with very standard configuration. And with all this running, basically, we already can, we should create this. We see that we don't have any cluster running or created. So we will apply this manifest. And now we should wait until the cluster shows us provision. But since it doesn't have to create anything, it shows very fast. We see that the cluster is already present in CAPI, and now we can play with it. Since when a new node joins a cluster, we also need certificate approval, and we don't have any tool to do this automatically. I just created this loop that will approve all certificates automatically, so autoscaling is going smoothly. Probably we will create some component or something for this in the future. And we come back to the other terminal, and we create a dummy Nginx deployment. We set some requests at 2 GB so we can scale it up and trigger new nodes. We see again how many nodes we have, and let's just scale the Nginx deployment to a higher number. We see that there are some pods that are pending. This means that they don't fit anywhere. And the cluster autoscaler will see that and say, okay, we need more nodes. Now we see that the machine deployment decided that, the cluster autoscaler already scaled up the machine deployment, and it said that we need 1 replica. For the demo, I just said, okay, let's bump this a bit higher so we can have at least 3 replicas, and we can play a bit more with the autoscaling. So we see that now it already tried to add another one. We see that we have already a node here. All this is with a bit speed up because, it took like 3 minutes to add the node. But but the node is already present and it's starting. We see that the node is ready. And some of the pending pods are already accommodated there. Now another node is coming up. So we will wait for the 3 nodes to be here and ready. And now we have all the pods up and running. So, I mean, the autoscaling app worked and it accommodated for everything. We have to wait a bit for it to settle until it's in a ready state, well, in running state. And now we have the machine deployment stable at three nodes. So let's scale down. Let's try to put 15 replicas and see what happens here. We wait until, maybe I speed up too fast this, but we can see that it went from 3 to 2 to 1. And now we have only one autoscaling node running. And now let's try to put it to 0 to see that it can also scale to 0 nodes in the autoscaling part. So well, that's it. I don't know if there are any questions or anything.